Hello, everybody, and welcome to my channel. I hope you guys are having a great day today. This is another quick update. It's really an update about the important things that I like, and it's the ascension process and all the gifts and all the remembering of who we are, and you know what are those gifts that each and everyone has for themselves. And I always like to think that I'm remembering something that I've had before, a gift or a talent, not so much that you're trying to gain something that you haven't had before. It's just remembering what you already had and just looking through that part of yourself that knows what it is. So there's a obvious good energy that's moving around, and it's just kind of permeating through everybody and everyone. The topics of conversation and the things that you process in your mind, you'll begin to notice that there's just some 3D aspects of physical humanity and humans that are just going to stay in that state, right? And you're going to find yourself living in uh, a, a different version of what you already have, right? There's a building on top of um, ascension process where this is just the the base rock bottom basement part of it. Then you can start building up and start discovering who you are, and more of your very own gifts and the things that you have. You know, Lakkar keeps popping up from the Pleiades. He's like a scientist, doctor sort of thing, and he keeps popping up. And what he says is that there's gonna be most humans, most of humanity is gonna just reach a plateau where they won't be able to go any further, so to speak. They've reached their level of advancement, and they'll just stay stuck there. That's because usually you have to keep your body healthy. You have to keep your body in a healthy way. You have to eat right. You have to participate in in just healthy things. Even healthy thoughts about others should be enough to get you going. So you'll reach a lot of opposition on that because if you can find a way to sleep 8 hours a day and really get a good night's rest, that's gonna make you feel different. Your whole world around you will change a lot when you do that. And these little small micro changes are going to build up and going to snowball into something bigger. And then you'll be able to notice the difference between where I think there's already people living in this 5D world here on Earth, and it doesn't necessarily have to be me. Might not including myself. I don't feel like I'm at that level yet. And you can also say to yourself, well, we're already living in 5D. I'm already living in 5D. What can I do to enhance the experience of 5D? And just keep thinking those thoughts and let the universe, right, or source, bring to you the things that you need to make better of, right? Like, let's say, just for example, that I do spend a lot of time on my computer or my phone, or too much time, or not enough time. If you so happen to drop your phone and it cracks and it breaks, and you've been asking for a way of finding yourself better, or releasing some of the stuff that holds you down with 3D, like watching the news all the time over and over again, just kind of absorbing this um, small universe of where people live in the topic of politics or sports or airplanes or anything that might be directing you towards that part, right? Like I've heard somewhere once where you just want to let the energy through you You want to know that, yeah, there's been a catastrophic event, or there's been a wonderful thing you might hear in the news. You never hear any good things in the news, do you? But still, there's some things that happen out there that makes everyone happy, like the release of the hostages. That's a plus. That's something to look forward to. In any case, you want to feel that you're being directed towards your goal, because your goal is very different than my goal. It's a different way of like wanting the same thing, which is ascension, or to enlighten yourself, and that'll bring you closer to where you need to be. So it'll just be a small step. Maybe I dropped my phone and it cracked, and I'll think to myself, maybe I do have a lot of screen time that I shouldn't be doing. There could be something else that I could be doing that I'm not doing. Or if you're looking at your coffee at the grocery store or wherever you might go, and then you find this packet of peppermint tea in the wrong place, and you're thinking, what's this doing here? So you just got to look out for it. And those are personal things that have happened to me, but you got to look out for your own way, because when you go about the process of figuring yourself out and knowing about yourself, it'll be apparent to you. And these are the stories or the occurrences that I'm telling you about, things that happened to me specifically, about what I needed in my life to get myself to be um, what it put in the right direction of the things where I want to go. I hope I'm speaking clearly to you about what it is that I'm saying here. So, with that being said, there is an influx of energy, as I said earlier in the video, and that allows us to then want to shed light on dark corners for everyone, not just me and not just the people around you, because there are people who are getting these kind of nudges and this kind of inclinations towards a certain thing. And specifically now, we're having a lot of movement in the weather, and we're having a lot of changes that are happening. Right, we're almost into spring, so there's always a forward motion that you can notice about the things that are going on right now for the springtime, right, which is something we look forward to. So it's a great time for you to just sit back, reevaluate yourself, and think about what I'm going to change and what I'm going to make different for myself to make myself better. And ask for it, because you'll get your own personal nudge based on the things that you've you've experienced, or how you navigate your life, right? How it is that things get drawn to your attention, which I think is very important as an individual, for everybody, for everyone to experience this. So Lakkar, he's in his own space. He's in he's let's see, where is he now? Well, he's not with me at this moment, but he's yeah, he the first time I met him, I'm gonna say a little story about him. I'm actually calling him, drawing him to me by thinking about this individual. Lakkar is a scientist, and then I remember him doing like a test. He was just testing me out for things, right? And then he just popped away. He found it interesting that two individuals can become one, and that just perplexed him in a lot of ways. He was just perplexed by that idea. Um, and then now he's just kind of popping up. And the last thing he said, it was just that there's just going to be a plateau. And I think I'm going back to something I started saying earlier but didn't finish. You have to. Your body is like a glass of water. That's a glass without anything in it. But if you start filling it with, you can fill it with good things and you can fill it with bad things. Just for example, right? So if you fill this with enough bad things, the body, the physical body, doesn't won't be able to receive light energy from source in order for it to advance. So what he says, that you can plateau in a way that you just reach a certain level where you just can't go back. If you fill yourself with, you know, um, like let's say good and bad, water and alcohol. If you fill yourself with alcohol too much, then you just won't have enough water to put in to dilute it, to make it slightly less harmful for you in a way, right? And then you can just have a full glass of water, or you can just have a full glass of alcohol, for example. So if these decisions that you make on your daily life affect you, even if you don't believe it, and the worst kind of mind virus that you can have is just the way you navigate about thinking of life, or the way that you go out thinking of just the way you model the world around your thoughts, right? Usually that's infected by the things that you're watching in the media, or whatever you're watching on your phone can influence you in that way. And you can feel yourself attached to certain scenarios and certain ideas where you're in this bubble of uh, you're in this bubble of I don't want to say negativity, but you're in the you created for yourself the situations that you're in, right? So you have to now is a great time to do it. March 21st. It's a great time, and maybe the week before, to start to take in the energy that's coming in, that's going to renew everything and bring in the springtime and bring in what I like to call the winds of change. You get these winds of changes, and you can start to project the kind of future, or the kind of person, or the kind of scenarios that you want to see yourself forward into, and then have that manifest itself in the summer and in the fall, and then um, see it through for yourself. Have I noticed that for myself? I have. And let's see, and for you, let's see how quickly you can manifest things for yourself. Would be as just as how quickly you can have things just go your way, so to speak, and how well you can have, how much easier it is to have your way with the thoughts and the ideas that you're having, trying to push a situation specific to yourself. And I think that is important to move yourself in that direction, right? So let's see. I'm trying to think of anything else. So what did Lakkar say? Lakkar, Lakkar. Lakkar. Let me just write that down. All right, this pen is dead. So Lakkar is he's a scientist, and he was the one to explain about the plateauing of the. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make this other list I was looking into for another pen, because I won't be able to make it with this one. But Lacar he's a scientist. Like I said, he understood the process of the ascension. He understood of the taking care of your body with your thoughts and the meals and the food that you have, to start clearing away a lot of the baggage that you have. And I'm not going to speak to this about it because it's a personal thing. So maybe I won't address it in public like this. But my thing, my personal experiences that I've had. But I it'll just be something for another day maybe. But you will start peeling back in these, like maybe you could say to yourself, what am I getting these bouts of anger? Where is that coming from? Is that something that I want to focus on now that we're having the springtime coming in, to see if we can start clearing all that thing away? I guess my greatest fear for you guys is that you'll miss it, and maybe you won't dig deep enough to pull that out and see and pick at that childhood part of yourself that has all this um, programming, which isn't necessarily bad, right? Because if you're doing this when you were a kid in the 80s or in the early 90s, then that's still just programming from that era of the planet when it was going through its ascension process. But now we're talking 20 years later, maybe more. and everything's changed, and the planet and the situation of a planetary for the planetary situation for everyone is better, right? And obviously it's different. So you're still carrying the luggage, the heavy bags that will uh, hold you back from ascension. Okay, and if you feel that you're there yet, then great. Feel that you're there yet, but just realize that your galactic family is going to start wanting to reach out to you. Your family is going to want to reach out to you. Your relatives are going to want to reach out to you. Um, you'll feel an inner sense of calm and peace that is undescribable, and it's just it's the result of what you're expecting when you do these sort of things. Because most of the people that I am around, feel that they're always carrying this thing around, this heavy burden, and that just can't get away from it. Right? It's just it's tugging at them, but we're afraid most times to look at our shadow self and figure out the reasons why we are who we are, and for however painful or discouraging or just outright lose your balance, because it's one of those legs of a chair that hold you together, even though it's negative and it's luggage. You're thinking, well, I can't hold straight if I have a chair with just three legs. Then, yeah, you can build something else around it, or you can replace it with something different, and you can make yourself different, because you will be different when you start to release this. So there's no other Francis that I know better than I know the one that's here right now, because it's the one that's transcending, and it's obviously very different than 10 years ago or 20 years ago. And that just says a lot about your character and how much you're able to move forward with the way that the planet itself is going, and what are the the just the internal changes for yourself, and then you'll see it reflect in others when people treat you differently, or when you just see that the other person is in their own little bubble, which is fine, right? But nevertheless, it's always just going to be about you, and your personal growth and journey is your responsibility. So if people think that you're selfish, or you're just conceited, or you're only just thinking about yourself, then they're probably right, and it's probably true, because you obviously just want to take your main goal is to ensure your survival, right? We're not being chased by cheetahs or lions anymore, right? In the Sahara Desert, but nevertheless, the quantifiable idea of self preservation is that you feel good about yourself in the context of being around others. How do I feel? Right? If you're dropping a conversation where it's making you uncomfortable, you excuse yourself and you get out. You don't just stay there and say, "Oh my God, I have to comply or conform in a situation where I don't feel comfortable." And you might have to, but still, you've made already the conscious choice and idea that I'm just gonna mentally block this and just let this be a part of an experience that I'm not agreeing to, but yet I have to participate in, even if I don't want to. Okay, so even then, you still have the choice if you have to go through it. But it's just a beautiful, loving message for every one of you. I'm glad that you can all hear and just take for what it's worth the advice that I've given you, because it's what I'm going to be doing now in the springtime. And it's you just got to clean out your closet and let it all out there for yourself. You don't got to go out and tell the whole world what you've been through, because that's just a horrible experience. Either way, I wish you guys the best, and you have a good rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next time.